And here is the Writer's Almanac for Sunday, May the 26th, 2019. It's the birthday of the documentary photographer Dorothea Lange, born in Hoboken in 1895. Contracted polio when she was a kid, developed a permanent limp as a result, moved to San Francisco. She was taking photographs of well-to-do people when, during the Depression, she started taking photographs of men on bread lines and striking workers and the homeless. She's now remembered for her photograph of the Dust Bowl wife, entitled Migrant Mother, taken in 1936. It's the birthday of the father of modern Russian literature, Alexander Pushkin, born in Moscow, 1799, worked in every literary form: lyric poetry, narrative poetry, the novel, short story, drama, and the critical essay. Sometimes exiled for his political beliefs, he was living on his mother's estate in northern Russia when he wrote his most famous play, Boris Godunov, and his verse novel, Eugene Onegin. Mussorgsky made an opera out of Boris Godunov, Tchaikovsky made one out of Eugene Onegin, and Pushkin was killed in 1837 fighting a duel with Georges Dante, who Pushkin believed was trying to seduce Pushkin's wife. It's the birthday of John Wayne, born Marion Morrison in Winterset, Iowa, 1907. He got into the movie business by way of the prop department. He was a scenery mover, and that's how he got to know the director John Ford, who started giving him bit parts in his movies. He became a star in John Ford's movie Stagecoach, 1939. Made many movies with John Ford, the cavalry movies like Fort Apache and Rio Grande, the post-war movies like The Searchers and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And it's the birthday of the jazz trumpeter Miles Davis, born in Alton, Illinois, 1926. Grew up well-to-do in East St. Louis. His father was a dental surgeon. Family had a ranch in Arkansas where the boy learned to ride horses. Moved to New York, 1944, to study at Juilliard, and then fell in with Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie. When Gillespie left Parker's band, it was Miles Davis who filled in. It was Miles Davis's album Birth of the Cool in 1956 that heralded the beginning of the cool jazz movement. Developed a heroin habit in the early 50s, kicked it in 1954. In the late 60s, started introducing some electric guitar and piano into the records. Moved increasingly toward funk and rock and roll in the double album Bitches Brew in 1970. It's the birthday of the novelist Alan Hollinghurst, born in a little town, Stroud, England, 1954, an only child. Parents sent him off to boarding school, then went to Oxford, where he decided to try his hand at writing. His first novel, The Swimming Pool Library, came out in 1988, story of a gay man who saves the life of an older gay man, an aristocrat, a novel full of explicit descriptions of sex. Hollinghurst said, "For a shy person, it strikes me now that my first novel was rather bold, but I think shy people often have a strange compensatory impulse. When they do something, it's ridiculously outspoken." The book spent months on the bestseller list. Hollinghurst is a meticulous writer, spends years on each novel. Alan Hollinghurst said, "I'm not at all easy to live with. I wish I could integrate writing into ordinary social life, but I don't seem to be able to. I could when I started. I suppose I had more energy then. Now I have to isolate myself for long periods. It's all become more of a challenge. I find writing novels gets harder and harder, which is not what I thought would happen. I thought you'd learn how to do it." Here's a poem for today, a sonnet by William Shakespeare, his sonnet number 109. Oh, never say that I was false of heart, though absence seemed my flame to qualify. As easy might I from myself depart, as from my soul which in thy breast doth lie. that is my home of love. If I have ranged, like him that travels, I return again, just to the time, not with the time exchanged, so that myself bring water for my stain. Never believe, though in my nature reigned all frailties that besiege all kinds of blood, that it could so preposterously be stained to leave for nothing all thy sum of good. For nothing this wide universe I call, save thou, my rose, in it thou art my all. Shakespeare's Sonnet, number 109. And that's the Writer's Almanac for Sunday, the 26th of May. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.